Hi guys, it's Docken with Team Blackout Broadcasting. We're here with the first installment of our Pro Strats Boss Series. The first boss we're going to cover is Lucifron. He is located in Molten Core. He is one of the easiest bosses in this raid instance, and is one of the first bosses that most raid groups will go after. Lucifron has about 350,000 health, and he's got 39,000 mana. He's got 3 primary attack abilities outside of his auto attacks. He's got Impending Doom, which inflicts 2,000 shadow damage to nearby enemies after 10 seconds. This is a dispellable magic type. Priests will need to remove this as soon as they possibly can. It is a shadow-based skill. It has also got a 40-yard range. The second skill that he has is Lucifron's Curse. This curses nearby enemies, increasing the cost of their spells and abilities by 100%. It has a duration of 5 minutes. This cost increase applies to all skills and abilities, whether they consume mana, rage, or energy. It is a curse type, so it is removable by mages and druids. It is also a shadow-based spell, and it has a 40-yard radius as well. So if you have improved range on your attack abilities, you would want to be beyond that 40-yard range if possible, where you can still DPS the boss but be out of the effect area of those abilities. In addition to that, his third ability is a Shadow Shock. This ability instantly lashes out at nearby enemies with dark magic, inflicting shadow damage. Again, this is a Shadow School effect, and has a 20-yard radius. So if you're not going to make that 40-yard plus range, you want to make sure you're beyond 20 yards if you are a ranged DPS or a healer. In addition, Lucifron is accompanied by 2 Flame Waker Protectors. They have about 90,000 health, and they have 2 primary attack abilities other than their auto attacks. The first one being Cleave. This hits the primary target and then up to 5 additional nearby allies. It is physical based, so melee, you want to make sure you're standing behind these guys at all times unless you're actually tanking it. The other ability they have is Dominate Mind. This takes control of a humanoid target for 15 seconds. It is a magic-based, dispellable ability, so priests will need to dispel that as soon as possible. It is also of the Shadow School. There are a few consumables that will make this encounter easier. One of those being Restorative Potions, which can remove 1 magic, curse, poison, or disease effect on the user for every 5 seconds for 30 seconds. What you want to do in order to maximize the use of this would be to wait until either the Impending Doom or Lucifron's Curse has landed on you, and when it has, use a Restorative Potion that will maximize the time you have the benefit of it, and it will remove the abilities in an optimal way. In addition to that, if you are very new to the content and or you are lacking Dispellers or Decursors, where you want to make sure that you have the ability to survive the fight should you take damage from that Impending Doom, a Shadow Protection Potion will reduce the damage you take and or mitigate it completely. A reminder, you want to pre-apply the Greater Shadow Protection Potions before the encounter begins so that your potion cooldown is available to use a Restorative Potion. Also, in addition to all of your normal raid buffs you would put on to every member of the raid, you want to make sure that you have priests putting Shadow Protection on all members of the raid group to help reduce the damage they may take from any of the abilities and or increase the chance that they would resist any of the abilities. There's several ways to place the boss in the ads when you kill them. If you look at the image here, the upper portion where the large circle is the boss, and in the lower portion are the 2 ads. This is a more traditional strategy where players would have hunters pull the 2 ads back to warriors that were waiting in the alcove at the back of the room, and what this would do would be to line of sight the raid group as they killed the 2 ads in the cubby here from the main tank, his healers, and the boss, if you see what the larger circle is there. Also making sure that they were pulled more than the 40 yards away from the boss to alleviate any potential persons being hit with those abilities. If you look where the circles are located on this image, the larger circle is located on one side of the chamber, and the 2 smaller circles are located on the other side of the chamber, close by to the boss. What this does is allows the DPS to start more quickly on the ads because they're right there when you pull them, and you're not dragging them across the room. As well, having them stacked up like that will also allow them to use Whirlwind, Cleave, Blade Flurry, and other abilities to kill them faster. In this strategy, you would kill both of the ads and then go to the boss and work the boss down. However, if you have them in this position, you need to make sure you've got those Restorative Potions and or you have good Dispellers and Decursors, so that way the entire raid, which will be being hit by those abilities, will be optimally dispelled and or cleared of any negative effects. The final strategy, which is a more advanced strategy, would be where you have the boss and both the ads stacked on top of each other facing the wall, And in this strategy, what you would want to do is you have all of your DPS focusing Lucifron himself. The reason being is the Cleaves, Whirlwinds, and other AoE abilities will generally take the ads down and kill them and or get them very, very low life by the time the boss is actually dead. And if you kill the boss before the ads, you no longer have to contend with his AoE abilities, such as the Impending Doom or the Curse. This is an excerpt from a recent Molten Core run that I was in. If you see the skull back there in the back of the room, that's part of Lucifron's patrol pattern. Before you actually encounter him, you have to clear a core hound pack, such as the one you see in the foreground there. There's one just to the right of where I'm standing. We already cleared that. You have to wait till he approaches. Sometimes people recommend clearing that second pack. However, I don't generally see a reason to do it as long as you can get your pull time correct. Now this will be the advanced strategy as I mentioned. I'm going to pull the boss, turn him around, have him face the wall. The other tanks pick up the ads. They have the ads face the wall. What this allows is all the melee to be behind them so they don't worry about catching a cleave. As you can see, there are 2 targets that are mind controlled right now. There are 2 ads up. They can each mind control 1 person. Now if you take note, Lucifron is going to go down here. And as you see, there's still an ad up. Or actually, excuse me, both the ads are up. But what is stopped is the timers for his abilities. That's a more advanced group with a high output. Just an example of the advanced strategy that was previously discussed.